Good afternoon and welcome to the program Behind the News here on The Nation Online TV. My name is Yewande Fasan, and with me is my guest and analyst, Mr. Mobolade Omonijo. How are you, sir? Welcome to the show.
You too.
I'm very well, thank you.
God bless you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, and it's a good, white is a good color to start the week.
Every color is good for everybody.
Yeah, I mean, what means peace, I guess, though.
Yes,
so we believe that this week is going to be peaceful for us and to the viewers. Thank you for joining us. Without wasting much of our time, let's just, get straight to the business of the day. First, we'll be taking the headlines from our different national dailies this afternoon, starting with the Nation newspaper. And above the nameplate headlines, we have over 2 trillion naira siphoned in fraudulent fuel subsidy, claims under Jonathan. This is coming from Otedola. EFCC, 13,000 convictions secured. Over to Nigerian Tribune. CBN faces balancing act as calls grow for lower interest rates. UK, Canada, Australia recognize Palestinian statehood. Over to this day. El-Rufai says Tinubu planning life presidency, not genuine Democrats. The Punch newspaper. Idols rejects Assembly's move to probe 6 months spending. Daily Trust. 53 security men killed in 2 weeks. So those are, some of the headlines on our major national dailies this afternoon. So I'd like us to, take the first story, and I would like us to pick it, from this day. Speaking of El-Rufai and, Tinubu, the presidency, the coming election, and, what it holds for Nigeria. So the story is here on page 5, and it reads, let me take the lead. It says a former Kaduna State Governor, Nasir El-Rufai, at the weekend accused President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of planning to stay in office for life, maintaining that there are already pointers to that effect from recent actions by the current All Progressives Congress APC-led administration. He also further took a dig at the president, describing him as a fake Democrat, especially over the recent alleged attacks on members of the African Democratic Congress ADC in parts of the country. And I think this conversation was had when there was a visit between himself and Atiku Abubakar, right? And I don't know. El-Rufai has had a lot to say over the past, month, and many of them have actually had a lot to say. And right now, the election is upon us, 2027, and I believe that we should expect more from different, quarters. And right now, El-Rufai has made a statement that our president, the current president, plans to stay in office for life. I mean, that's not possible anyway. And now, saying he's a fake Democrat, I want you to, speak on that, or should I say dwell on that, because many have different opinions. And the new coalition of the ADC, I don't know to that effect, because they've come to form an alliance, to break or to tackle whatever it is the APC or the PDP will be planning in 2027. Could this be one, or could this take right now be because of the coming election trying to, shall I say, sabotage whatever it is the APC or the PDP or any other party, intend to do in 2027? Your take on this, sir?
Well, the truth of the matter is that Nigerian politics has always been very interesting. Politicians can say anything. Politicians can throw anything in the direction of the other. That's the way it has always been. Nothing is too big to allege, even when you have no proof. That's the way they've always done things. It's a shame that Mr. Nasir El-Rufai has been on this lane since he was denied ministerial appointments. Why would you say that he's planning life presidency? It's outlandish. It looks immature. It looks childish. Because even when former President Olusegun Obasanjo was alleged to be planning a third term, which many of us were privy to and saw openly, he couldn't pull it through. As powerful as is believed to have been, he couldn't push it through. You know, it was terminated at the National Assembly. It was truncated at the National Assembly. So why would Tinubu, who has been a senator, who has been a governor, who is conversant with the history of Nigeria, who knows how complex this country is, be planning a life presidency in a country like Nigeria? It's not feasible. The North will be looking at him, the Southeast will be looking at him, and he will be a life president. Even if he were the best president Nigeria ever had, Nigerians will still not tolerate anybody, not just Tinubu, anybody as a life president. But it's a shame that El-Rufai could even come out and say such things. The other side say that that one is just sheer politics. You know, what's the other side that he mentioned now?
I say it's a fake Democrat.
It's a fake
it's
Democrat.
Not genuine.
It's an opinion.
Yeah.
Anybody's entitled to his own opinion. If you like, you can say anybody is a fake Democrat. A number of people are discussing that concerning Mr. Trump. You know, so you could always say he's fake. Some other person will say he's the best. It depends. You know? But then he who asserts must prove. What proof does he have? What proof or evidence has he adduced to support the fact that it's a fake Democrat? You said ADC leaders are being handled. Has Mr. Atiku been picked up? Has he even been invited to come and explain how the privatization of that era was done under his watch? Has he? As Mr. Amici, who presided over the rail under the former President Buhari, the late President Buhari, and where there is a lot of things that we still don't understand. Because even when they got to the National Assembly, the Senate, to talk about the loans, and they said, even the supporting documents are written in Chinese. We don't read Chinese now, yet they approved it. Nobody has called him to come and explain anything. The best we've had is we threw some diatribes at one another across the line. So that's what we've seen. I've not seen anybody among them who is really harassed. We know countries where you have dictators.
Yeah.
We know the way people are really harassed. We know people are thrown. It's not up to you to prove your innocence once you are picked up by agencies of state. But the president or this administration has been careful not to go that way. And I don't think throwing such accusation at him is fair. To say that he's a dictator, to say that he's planning a life presidency, to say that
he's a fake Democrat. Well, just maybe this might be, just like you say, politicians, the true jabs. So this most likely is because of the coming election, of the general election coming up in 2027. Maybe just to malign or sabotage whatever it is that the opposition party are planning.
I know a former governor who is a friend. He used to be a friend. He said, very soon I'll throw some sand into their popcorn. So they are putting popcorn in their mouth. They are eating. And they say, that's the way some politicians, the way they act. And I guess that's what Mr. El-Rufai is trying to say or to do. But it's not worth it. We need to grow, become an issue-based electoral process, so that we could be looking at what do I want to do? What is this government doing? How are they doing it wrongly? How are they doing it in the right manner? What do we do? How will we do it better? Those are the things we should be discussing. The economy, how is it being run? All of you said we will remove the free subsidy when we get into office. All of you said, in fact, Mr. Obi said he will not stay one day.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
True.
When they got there, the man who got there did it on the same day. They say, how did you do it? Why now? And all that. So those are some of the things. All of them, Mr. Atiku, of course, is also on the right wing. He also said the same thing. Exchange, oh, you match the markets and all that. The arbitrage, you cannot. These are the things that all of them have discussed. They are playing from the same wing. You know, they are playing soccer from the same wing. And so it's difficult now to tackle the one that is in office, who has implemented the program that you pledged yourself to implement if you came into office.
Maybe I think the attack or the question is would come from who implemented, not what was implemented.
Exactly.
I think it is who implemented. That's why the attacks are coming in.
Exactly. It is who implemented. It is what party is implementing.
Exactly.
Incidentally, if you talk about party, it does not make sense to me. Mr. Atiku was vice president in the PDP administration of Olusegun Obasanjo. True. Now, when he had problems with his boss, and they were not going to give him ticket because he had made up his mind that he must be president of Nigeria at all costs. He needed to leave the party. Tinubu offered him a platform. He went into Action Congress of Nigeria, you know, and they gave him the ticket, go and fly the flag of the party. He lost. When he lost, after 1 or 2 years, he went back into his vomit at the PDP. Then, after some time, when the APC was put together and they felt, the PDP may not give me ticket again, or this PDP is not likely to win, he ran into APC and wanted to have the ticket. But when it came to primaries, he lost. And when he lost the primaries, he went back to PDP again. So how can you be talking of principle? How can you talk of ideology? How can you talk of differences in views and ideas and ideals? I don't see it. If you look at those who are in ADC now,
I was going to say that.
All of them have been either in APC or in PDP. There's no new politician there.
Of course.
Not one. They've all eaten together. They've drunk together. They did everything together. So I don't see what you are going to say about the other person that does not apply to you. In this case, we could say legitimately that when you point one finger, 4 are pointing back at you.
Well, speaking of the ADC, I know that the coalition is formed ahead of the 2027 election.
They didn't hide it.
I mean, yeah, they all came together to want to, form that, shall I say, a formidable team,
What they consider a formidable team.
So now my question is, like we said, these people came from different parties. Atiku from PDP, Peter Obi from Labour, and many of them from other parties. Now, you already said that back then or back in the day, Atiku left APC back to PDP. He left PDP. He kept going back to PDP. Now, will you say that is most likely, because according to many have seen, and maybe they've studied, that ADC might not stand a chance come 2027 because of many would say the interest, or should I say the what is forming their coalition is maybe out of dislike or hatred to the current party, or just wanting to take over. And right now, the presidential tickets might not, people want Obi, people want Atiku for the ADC, and there most likely will be a clash in that regard. I think there was even a banner, I don't know if it's fake or it's real, but I saw one particular banner on social media, how they kept all of them in that banner, but I didn't see Obi in that particular banner. I don't know how real that is.
Because Obi has not made up his mind.
I don't know how real that is, but many assume he has, because he's been I think they've had meetings or thereabouts, and many assume that he's also a part of the coalition.
He has not told anybody where he is. He has only 2 legs.
So neither is he in Labour.
But those 2 legs are in 3 places at the same time. And he has not resigned from Labour. Atiku has resigned from PDP. Obi has not resigned from Labour.
But neither is he still with them fully.
That's what I'm saying, that we don't know where he is. The PDP said that they will hand him the ticket. He has not denied it. He has not said, no, I have nothing to do with the PDP again, no, and so on. He's still looking at it. He's still studying the situation.
It's just on the fence.
It's on the fence. And the ADC too, like you said, you've seen him in public appearance with them, but not at their meeting. You understand? So we don't know where he is. And I know the obedience movement last week. Some of them said by November they will take a decision on where he will be or what party's flag he will fly in 2027. So until then we don't know. He doesn't know what he wants at the moment. At the moment.
But regardless, because I mean I think the ADC has come to stay right now, or maybe not.
Because even that one,
it's still shaky.
You know the first thing they did was to try to register ADA.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah.
Which is callers. They wanted to come up with ADA. But when they felt that INEC, they have always demonized INEC as being pro APC. Yeah. That they might be denied registration. That's why they say, okay, let's pounce on an existing party that already has registration. You know? So now that ADA is almost about being registered, you understand? They've scaled the first hurdle. We don't know if they will go back to the ADA thing because some members of the ADC are still challenging their takeover of their party. We don't know how that will go in courts, led by the Gombe ADC chairman. So these are all issues that are there. We don't know if it has come to stay. We don't know if some of them will go back to PDP. We don't know if they will go to ADA. We don't know if they go ahead with ADC. Nobody knows, as it were. I agree absolutely that nothing is very clear at the moment. Not only with ADC, but with almost all the political parties. Because defections are major features of our politics. We do not know who is living where. By the time you start having primaries in APC, we don't know who will think he has the short end of the stick. I would bow out and say, look, I don't have anything to do with this party again. Let me go to ADC. Let me go to PDP. We don't know. We don't know if PDP itself would remain a wobbling party. Up till then, we don't know. So let's see how things turn out. But as it is today, ADC is in the country.
Well, let's just like you rightly say, we would wait. I mean, before the first half of next year, we would know where and where everyone belongs.
By the beginning of next year.
So I mean, they will begin to decipher what to do next, and we'll see what the political space would look like by before the first half of 2026. Yeah, so let's keep fingers crossed and see what everyone in the political space has for Nigeria. And while we move away from that, I'd like us to talk about the return of the suspended River State's governor. Speaking of Fubara, yeah, and the story here is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Also speaking of the just a moment. Let me take it here. It says, IBAS rejects Assembly's move to probe 6 months spending. And from the lead here, it says the immediate past River State Administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete IBAS retired, and the River State House of Assembly may be gearing up for a showdown following the latter's decision to probe the state's expenditure over the last few months under the former. IBAS says to be the administrator of the oil state on September 17, following the end of the 6-month emergency rule, after President Bola Tinubu directed the suspended state governor, Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy and the State House of Assembly members to return to office from the previous Thursday. First of all, we'd like to, is it congratulations on his return now? Or What do we say, or how do we put it?
We can congratulate Rivers State at least for peace in the state. It appears that the tension that you had in the state has gone down. So
right.
Yeah, we can congratulate the people of Rivers State. I don't want to congratulate anybody as an individual, but the Rivers State, let's put it that way, yes.
Well, would you say, I mean, 6 months just came and just, went like that.
That's it.
I mean, when this happened, many were, saying 6 months is too far, and yeah, I mean, it's over. And right now, there's this back and forth with the, State House of Assembly and also the ex-administrator, the interim, speaking of IBAS. And now they want to probe. I mean, it's okay to probe, right, Mr. Omonijo? Is it okay to probe?
You see, it's not a straightforward thing. The position of IBAS is that they did not appoint him.
Yes.
And he was not responsible to them. So how would you then come and probe him? However, it is the institution of states that has the power of appropriation. Yes, during the period of emergency, the National Assembly assumed that role and passed their budget, as it were. But now that they are back, yeah, I think they have a right to take a look at the books. Where was it at the beginning of the emergency? Where is it today? And if they have to call anybody to explain, they have the constitutional power to do that. And in any case, I don't know why IBAS should I say be afraid? I'm not sure if that is the word to use, of a probe. If you have not done anything wrong, you have not. In any case, you must have a handover note. The handover note must contain what you did during the period, and the House of Assembly could look through that and then take a decision. I think the situation under the emergency, of course, is not normal, and so it's going to throw up all these things. I've heard quite a number of people talking about there's need to probe or not to probe. But what IBAS will tell you is that you did not appoint me.
Exactly.
You didn't give me the terms of reference. You don't therefore know what I've done.
It says the lawmakers have no right to investigate him.
Yeah, that is same. But even if you say the lawmakers don't, which I think they may have, then the courts may.
Because they will say that there's probably a need for transparency, and
anything that involves public funds
has to be transparent.
You must know how the people's money was spent. But the money of Rivers State people. So if the legislature is the appropriate organ to look into that, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't see. Look into it, but be careful. Be straightforward in order to do. Let it not be that you are doing it because you think somebody did not see you or somebody saw you. If you understand what I mean. In other words, our politicians, they are always expecting that some palms be greased.
Yeah.
And if during the period the administrator reading through his terms of reference feels have no business greasing anybody's palm, the lawmakers at the federal, at the state level, even at local government level, in most cases, the major concern is what came to me. But let's see what happens. Let's see how Fubra takes over. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he will clear the backlog of what they are being owed. Because the fact that they were suspended does not mean that they were not elected.
Yes.
So if you decide to clear the backlog in the interest of peace, maybe I think they may just say, well, let's sleeping dogs lie. But as to power, personally, I believe they have power to look into the books.
Well, let's see, what the consensus eventually, comes to be. And now that the elected governor is back, he's out of suspension. And prior to this moment, I mean, one of the reasons, or the major reason why he went on suspension was the dispute you know, between himself and, you know, the Minister of FCT, the person of Nyesom Wike. And now I want to believe that that has been resolved. I mean, I don't know if it has been fully resolved, but that was like a major, you know, rift between both of them. Absolutely. And it's made, you know, Rivers State, like, it left citizens and indigents.
I never heard of any project that Mr. Ibas even inspected. Ongoing projects. I never heard of it. Let alone award contract. Let alone call contractors and say, what are you doing with the mobilization you received? I never heard anything. He appeared just to have gone into office to sit down and maybe read security reports. I mean, like I said, he was not appointed and he probably does not owe anybody any, you know, whatever progress or growth or should I say commitment, or rather, you know, infrastructural development, you know, to the state, as he wasn't elected. But now that the, you know, elected governor is back on seat, I just want to believe that Rivers State would progress and move beyond, you know, the whatever it is they had. And the Minister of FCT would, should I say, not disturb the affairs in Rivers State, because I think it's both sides. I think it is both sides. I think it's both sides. Mr. Wike, everybody knows about his excesses. Nobody could dispute that. But Mr. Similari also wanted to prove his independence too early. If somebody picked you from nowhere, and when I say nowhere, I don't mean that he was a nobody. I mean politically. He was largely irrelevant. He was just a civil servant. He wasn't in the politics. He wasn't a member of the political party. The man took him. Even when the EFCC was running after him, he hid him in the government house, and he got into office, and within 6 months, there was a tiff with the big man. We don't know all the full details of what went into that, but I think it was both sides. He quickly called a local government election, and the election, he decided to hire another political party because Wike was in charge of both the PDP and the APC.
Wike is a mighty man.
Was in charge of both the PDP and the APC. So he hired another political party that he got his men in, and they won all the elections, all the chairmanship, and he won all as they do in Nigerian politics at that level. Governors will always, the party of the governor will always win in the local government elections. That one also, he went also, all of a sudden, mysteriously, the House of Assembly was bombed. And thereafter they said, oh, we need to reconstruct it. They pulled it down so that they could not meet. And now relocated it to the government house. You people come to my house. Let me see how you come into the den of the lion, and let's see how you survive. And then someone say, okay, we have residential quarters. We moved it to the residential quarters, and with the federal police and co guarding the place. So a whole lot of things have gone wrong on both sides.
Yes.
I've never had the closest I've heard of what happened was Mr. Godwin Obaseki, who went and removed the roof of the House of Assembly under the guise that that he was trying to renovate. But in this case, they pulled down. The state governor got the House of Assembly pushed down. Something built with the money of the people of Rivers State. You cannot justify such things. But Mr. Wike also, he was just taking fire with his pronouncements, with his actions, with his threats. So in that state, that kind of state, that was one of the reasons why I think that there was need for a state of emergency in that state. Everybody, you need to cool your heads. Let's see what happens there.
And just maybe at some point, maybe Fubara felt a little intimidated as maybe, oh, I'm the governor of the state. In as much as I respect you, I'm the governor of the state, I need to, make some decisions by myself. Though you might be involved, but let me be the, lead, of that particular discourse. And Wike as we know, Wike might not be having it, and you know, Wike wants all. I mean,
that's why I said it's both sides. It's not new. Chimaroke Naman in Enugu State. They had just about 7 members of the House to Mobolade having about 14 or 16 members. Nonetheless, he ran the state. He chased all of them out of town, and the minority was running the state. We've seen it before. It's not the first place that, because between him and Mobolade, who installed him, the godfather. And again, when it was now the turn of his own successor, whom he installed, just like Wike installed Fubara, that one also. That one was his classmate in primary school. He was with him in secondary school. They were in the university about the same time. He made him the Attorney General of the state. And I understand he was even his personal lawyer prior to becoming the Attorney General of the state. Yet, he had not been sworn in before he decided to take on Naman. So, we've seen it in many places. Many places. But come what may, people, there's what we call Omonijo in Yoruba.
Yeah.
People find a way of balancing act somehow, so that you don't allow things to boil over.
Yeah.
Somehow. But in this case of rivers, they were beginning to burn pipelines. That is the mainstay of the Nigerian economy. You will not allow that. No government will allow that to happen. And then the people said, but what I said, it was only once. How do we know that it was it? Yes, we don't know. The government has security reports that you and I are not privy to. Mr. Wike's men, who made more than 3/4 of the House of Assembly, they had already issued a notice of impeachment to the government. They had all the power to impeach him. They had everything in their favor to impeach him. There was no way you will impeach Fubara at that time that there would not be a conflagration in River States. So the way to do it, and like Wike said later, I said, I'm not happy with the state of emergency. People said I'm the one that influenced him. I wanted him impeached. Let him and his deputy be impeached. The speaker will now be the acting governor. That was what he wanted. But it would have led to conflagration in that state. So we needed the state of emergency to serve almost like a buffer zone. And that when everybody comes back, everybody would have learned some lessons. Lawmakers who did not receive salaries and allowances for 6 months will be minor. The governor himself, who had been stripped of his power, are humbled, most likely come back and say, okay, let's come, gentlemen, let's work. And he was conciliatory in his first broadcast. So let's see how it goes.
All right, with that, I'll just like us to wrap up. But before we wrap up, I'd like to ask, do you think right now the situation between himself, that's Fubara and Wike, are they like cordial now? Would you say that, the chaos or the rift, the dispute they had, has it like really, subsided to a very minimal level?
From what we can see, from their pronouncements, they've reconciled. Wike said so. Fubara said so. Fubara even acknowledged Wike in his resumption broadcast. However, my knowledge of politics is that Yorubas will say, Oju apa ò lè jojú ara. In other words, when you have a wound, the scar, I have a scar in my hand here. I had it as a child. More than 50 years ago, about 60 years ago. I had it then, there. It is still there, but it doesn't pain me again. I can touch it. It cannot be compared to other parts of the body. So it will always be there. Nigerian, there are sore points that will still be there. There are hawks on both sides.
Yeah.
Even when the two main gladiators have made up, some of them will be saying, when they say something, they say it's referring to you. It's referring to you.
More like throwing shades, jabs.
They are planning something, and even when they didn't know anything, I'm privy to their plans, so they held a meeting, and there will always be all something. It now depends on the maturity of the two main gladiators. One thing that I see in front, I hope they can handle it well, is second-term ticket for Mr. Kubra.
That's going to be really difficult. Really difficult. I mean, they must have maybe planned and waited for that moment. But again, we'll see how everything pans out, and we'll see what happens, moving forward in Rivers State. And now that he's back on seat, we'll see, the progress, he will do to Rivers State, and how Rivers State is going to return to normalcy. I mean, it has anyway, but, get back to its usual and the right way that a state is supposed to be, and, give the citizens, peace of mind. Because I'm sure many of them probably would not have had rest, in the past couple of months. But I just really hope that, Fubara has come back bigger, better, and stronger, and more wiser, to make decisions that is best, comfortable for the people of Rivers. And with that, we'd like to come to the end of the program. Thank you so much to my very own guest, Mr. Manja. Thank you for coming to the show today.
It's my pleasure to be here with you.
Thank you too, out there, for joining us. Thank you for listening to us here on The Nation Online TV. And until we come your way again, I remain Yewande Fasan. Have an amazing week. Bye-bye.